Like a jeweller's shop window, the silverware glitters in the trophy case at Everton Football Club. The comedians on the terraces at neighbours Liverpool do argue that Everton's trophies are more valuable than their own because these, they say, are all antique. Well, it is true that no major trophy has been added here since the League Championship of a decade ago, and a more recent FA Cup success than this one was in 1966. But ambition here at Everton is boundless. When they built this Fort Knox showcase a few seasons ago in which to hang the club's sporting scalps, there's a man round to Liverpool with a tape to measure the European Cup, just to ensure that they built a compartment big enough to take that great trophy when they win it. This is that compartment. At the moment it contains a clock, not a cuckoo, and this unique set of 5 gold medals. One by one, Jimmy Steen. A first and second division championship winners medal, FA Cup winners, Charity Shield winners, and Lancashire Senior Cup winners. Steen was a player in the great Everton team of the 30s and a compatriot of the late Dixie Dean. The pictures on the walls are testament to Everton's proud history. But what of the present and the future? A shareholders' call for better results follows Everton finishing one place off relegation last season. And fans have waged a long campaign of criticism of manager Gordon Lee in the letters page of the local sports paper. If fans can talk with their absence, then there were actually more empty places at Goodison for yesterday's game against Wolves than full ones.
Although the season is still young, and Everton have only played 4 league games and a couple of League Cup ties, they haven't set off in a style which convinces the fans that better times are ahead. At the same time, they're just holding their heads above water, and I think the result of today's game will be a pointer to the rest of the season. If they fail today, then they'll remain down at the wrong end of the first division, right from the word go. Whereas if they get a good result, then the day of judgment will at least be postponed for a bit longer.
How is Gordon Lee reacting to the strong criticism of the supporters?
Well, he's reacting in a very brave way in that he's actually gone out to meet the supporters at public functions, and he's taken their criticisms and he's done his best to answer them. And I think he's shown a considerable amount of personal courage in the way he's faced the problem.
What Gordon Lee, Everton and the fans at Goodison and at home wanted yesterday was a good win. Everton have put their faith this season in youth by including several young players like number 7, Steve McMahon, who's a month past his 19th birthday. And youth combined with the experience of Peter Eastoe and Bob Latchford to produce the first goal. Brilliantly taken by Peter Eastoe. That was Everton's 3rd league goal in 5 matches, and all of them have been scored by Peter Eastoe. This one from a perfect through ball by Latchford. Manager Gordon Lee was quite delighted.
I think his first-half performance today was probably near international form today. Peter, I thought he's played absolutely out of his skin, brilliant, really. Took his goal well. He's a very, very good player, and I think you know, when he really gets his confidence, and confidence comes from scoring goals and good results, I think the lad can even do better. But he has done very, very well.
Early in the second half, Everton went 2 up. Billy Wright, the scorer. But in truth, the goal was something of a gift, with the Wolves keeper, Paul Bradshaw, only flapping at the corner, and Wright free to hit the ball on the volley, almost tearing the net. Bob Latchford had already been substituted, and Everton might have added a 3rd, when Eastoe found space, but put his header wide. Wolves had their chances to score too, never more so than when McMahon tripped Peter Daniel in the last 5 minutes. It was clearly a penalty, and Everton didn't protest. The Everton keeper Jim McDonough hasn't conceded a goal in 4 games at Goodison since he signed from Bolton, and continued to lead a charmed life. Daniel's miss, the final act. Everton well worth their victory by 2-0. But still it appears the fans on the terraces just aren't satisfied.
Yeah, but for a club of Everton's size, it's not successful, is it? I mean, the fans are here. The success is a trophy, you know, which, unless there's one on the sideboard, you know, they'd never be satisfied, you know. And with Liverpool across the park, when there's something every year, that makes it twice as bad, you know.
What about the supporters who are writing all the letters to the papers saying the team are bad and things should be changed here?
I quite agree, and I think the manager should be changed too.
That's very harsh. I mean, you're FA Cup semi-finalist last season.
Oh yeah, big deal. But he's been here 3 years now, and I think it's time for a change, and I think the crowds will come back then. I think...
There's always a danger of making change for change's sake.
Oh no, not really, not in this case. As I say, he's had 3 years to prove himself, and he hasn't. So I think we need someone new blood.
Gordon, do you feel under pressure here at Everton?
No, not at all, no. No more than I do, you know, ever since I've been a manager. I think that when you're a manager of a football club, if you lose matches, there's pressure. If you win matches, everybody's happy.
But what are your personal feelings when you see things like the letters page and the Echo and there's such strong criticism of you?
Well, I think it's like anything else. You know, the thing that sells newspapers, it's their job to write nasty things in the papers. You know, they don't want to write nice things in the papers, so they don't really make much difference to me, to be quite honest. I never read the papers, they don't bother me that much anyway. And in any case, I think the public pay the money, and it is their choice. You know, they do what they want to do, but it's not really. I don't think it's a bother for a manager, because I think managers get used to it anyway, and it's a bit disappointing maybe I would think if you're an editor, you know, if you're an editor of a newspaper, and you want to write nasty things in newspapers, then it's a bit of a shame. You know, it's a bit of a sad indictment, I think, on the way people earn their living. But you know, that's life, isn't it?
Do you think they've gone home happy today?
I think 2 teams made a good game for the public.
And a good result for Gordon Lee?
Well, yes.
Well, are you going home happy tonight or unhappy?
Happy.